Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Nidhe Sarva Vidyanam, Vishaje Bhavaroginam, Gurave Sarva Lokanam, Dakshinamurtiye Namaha. Om Maunam Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam Varishtante Vasat ऋषिगणै आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येण करकलितचिन्मुग्धम् आनन्दरूपं सात्मारामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमिदे अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुः सखा त्वमेव त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भं शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुं परम्परां वन्दे दयानन्द सरस्वत्यै नमः. Today most probably we don't need the books. Yes, this is going to be a class where we're going to be going from the first starting right up till where we were last week, and if time permitting I will try and cover a little bit of what's coming in next week. Next week will be actually a milestone, because next Monday when we get together, the milestone is we'll be finishing 49. And we are way ahead of what we thought we will do in the schedule.
Wonderful.
And 49 going is one thing, and what's coming after 49 is completely another thing. Because after 49 we're going to be talking quite a good number of things. And I'm going to be talking about quite a good number of those things also today. So you will know what to expect and where we are going, how we are going to get there, and other things. So let us this one we'll all say together, repeat after me. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta
Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta
Gocharam Tamagocharam
Gocharam Samagocharam
Govindam Paramanandam
Govindam Paramanandam
Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham.
Sadguru Pranatosmyaham.
We talked briefly about this particular thing, where this is a prayer which Adi Shankaracharya did in praise of his Guru. Usually any time a literary work is done, then that literary work usually takes the first step is praying to Guru and giving your offerings to Guru, because he's the one who has given the jnana, and so that's what they do. And in this particular case, Govinda Pada is Shankaracharya's Guru, and Govindam also stands for God. And when Gukaraha means Andakaraha, when the darkness is supposed to be Gukaraha. So Govindam means he takes away. And what he does is that he's taking away the andhakara and he's lighting a light in you. And that light is what we are trying to look at. Okay. How many of you feel that really, what's all this nonsense about life? Does anyone feel dejected with the life? Or Sulang, what kind of dejection? Just the unreality associated with it?
The
or
unreality as well as we know this end is permanent for everybody, but what is beyond that, we don't know. I mean, we do all these prayers and we do all this, reading and become wise and everything. Okay, what is there beyond that? That's my question.
Yes, that's a $1 million question. And unless you give me $1 million, you're not answering.
Yeah, I mean, it's been always there, and it seems like there is no closure there.
It keeps coming. So in most of Vedanta, what happens is, today we're going to go to deep Vedanta, because we're going to go through all the 49 verses. These 49 verses actually are the verses which are telling us why we should read the balance for 400 and odd verses. And one of the reasons why we are going to read the balance 450 and odd verses is because that's what, unless you understand the totality of the whole Vedanta, you will not be able to understand the unison of yourself with God. The minute you are saying that I am going to die, is you're telling about a particular aspect of your life which is going to die. There is a second aspect associated with it where it's not going to die.
The soul.
Okay, that is, now you can turn around and say, how do I know I'm going to be reborn?
Oh, where am I going? Where's the soul going?
Newton said energy cannot be destroyed, energy cannot be created. It can only change forms. So what form is this, and what is the transferred form is that. That is an axiom by Newton. Of course, we all agree, and then it's because Newton said that, everyone says, yeah. Ooh. He also said some other thing. He said, I invented gravity. And I always, the first time when my teacher, when I was very young, when he told me about gravity and he said, Newton invented gravity, I raised my hand and he said, he didn't invent gravity, sir. Then my teacher said, why are you saying he didn't invent gravity? I said, because when Newton did not invent gravity, all the apples did not fly into the sky. All of them fell down. I don't know whether he realized it or not. In India, there is a Sanskrit guy called Bhartruhari. And he wrote a very nice poem quite a while ago. And that poem, he talks about Dharkaro Kandu. And there was a guy who is a bald guy with no hair and other thing. This one guy went and sat underneath a coconut tree because he was trying to take the shade. And the thing goes on. These are all moral poetry which he wrote in Sanskrit. And there is a coconut which fell right on his head. And so it's an unfortunate kind of a thing, You're trying to go and get. It's very difficult to find shade underneath a coconut tree. If you know where coconut trees are, it's absolutely unbelievable if you can go sit underneath a coconut tree and say, hey, I got shade. But if you go under a banyan tree, you can have all kinds of shade. The banyan tree leaves are big, they cover the whole thing, and they don't let the sun come down, and so it's all differences. That Bhartrihari's poem was there, and that also is a very interesting poem for telling that, which tells the frailty of a human being, that even if there is अगर कहीं पे चाराने के छाव रहे तो उसमें जाके घुसता है. What I'm saying is, if there is any place, even a small shade for a coin shade underneath somewhere, a human being will always try to go in there and say, or he'll try to go and do things, all kinds of things, all various kinds of things we do. And so it becomes very difficult for a human being to understand himself and understand his own chesta. Chesta is all the kriyas which we do. Our chesta is it's a very simple chesta. I'll give another very nice, simple example. Benjamin Franklin, we are in America, we should talk about someone who's like Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin's household had a rule in which they didn't like a particular chesta. If someone did a chesta like that, then they were punished. And when I was in fifth form, I read a book came out which was Benjamin Franklin's short stories, and that was one of the short stories which I had for my non-detail. And in what that story is, every human being has a chesta in him. Every human being tries to do things which are not couth. They try to do which are uncouth. And one of the uncouth things Benjamin Franklin did that day was he sat at the dining table and his mother served him a soup, and he tasted the soup and he said, "Mother, the soup is not hot." And his father was sitting there and he just saw him and he said, "You know what we don't allow here? Any comments on the food which is put on the table." And the reasoning why that particular thing was done is because a mother works very hard trying to get all the things together, cook in the kitchen, and then prepare the food and put it on the table. And when you say some chesta like that, if you do that kind of a chesta, then immediately it changes the total
Energy of the food.
the energy of the food. It just changes the ambiance. The ambiance of the place is suddenly dropped. And so in their house they had that rule. And now we see so many times in our house, our kids come and you try and give them a sandwich, as soon as you give them I made a sandwich for you, here is a cheese sandwich. Again, cheese sandwich. So, what all these things reflect is, it reflects all kinds of issues associated with the psychology associated with a human being. The psychologies which we are all affected with psychology. The reason I'm going into this kind of a deep sense of this one is because we as a human being, Adi Shankaracharya says, Narajanma Durlabaha. Getting a human life is a very difficult thing. Why is it difficult? We have completely like 8,400,000 species on the earth itself. And in this 8,400,000 species, we have species of all different kinds. There are species which cannot live on the earth where there is no water, and there are species which can only live in water, and there are some which can go into the water and come out. There are some reptiles which keep going up the trees and other things, and there are so many different kind of a species. And when you even come and look at a species with reference to an ant, okay, there are as many number of ant species, white ant, red ant, Hyderabad ant, another ant, this ant. So many ants are there. If you look at all those ant species and what they constitute and other things, there's so many things. And we come up and say, how many species, in all the species, what percentage is a human being? When you come to the percentage of the total number of species, we are the least percentage. Even though we think we are very great, we got 1 billion Chinese, 1.5 billion Indians, and another 1 billion here, 1 billion there, all put together, we're so many billion. Doesn't matter. Still, we are much more smaller group than any one of the other things. Now, if Shankaracharya says that at one time here, and what he means in that particular statement is, you are, he says, in jantus. In jantus means all animals and others. Man distinguishes himself separate from the rest of the species because of certain aspects associated with a man. And when we try and see what aspects are there, you will find that my guru, Dhyana Saraswati, always used to tell me this particular story, and first time I ever heard him tell this story, I was flabbergasted, because he said, take a human baby and put him inside a dark room, and take a just born calf and put it inside the same dark room and shut the door, feed them with whatever food they got to eat or they got to get or something like that, and then leave them there and see what happens after 5 years, 6 years. The animal comes with the instinct of how to live in the forest. And so the animal side of it is really happy, doesn't have to worry about anything. But the human baby is gone. He said he will just be there, he would not know even to walk. He would not know even to cry. He would not know even to use his arms properly to eat food. He would be completely incapacitated. And Dhyana Saraswati says, the only reason he is incapacitated compared to the rest of the animal world is, animal world is instinct driven. They have the instinct of getting up onto a tree, and they have an instinct which tells them what to do. A human being is not instinct driven, but he is a mind driven entity. And when you come to this mind driven entity, what happens is, this mind driven entity has to have something to see and then compare and learn from various things which are around. But the instinct is not there. And another very interesting thing he used to say is, he used to, and I remember this very distinctly because that was one of the first times when I was sitting in his lecture. He kind of saw me and he knew I was an engineer and I was big shot in some company there. So I came and I sat there, sitting here watching him. And he says, "You're an engineer." He says, "What do you need if you are on top of a tree and if you are on a branch and you got to jump onto another tree which is very close by? It's not that far, it's only 1 yard away. And what would you need to understand to make the assessment, which branch would be the branch which you would have to jump on to?" And then we were all waiting over seeing. He says, you got to have a mathematical calculation, right? Distance, what force, how much force, and how to jump, and how to catch what one. And he says, hey, a man, a child will not be able to do it because he does not have the instinct of a monkey. Because monkey is the greatest engineer. Because it knows when it jumps from one tree to another tree, it knows which branch is there, which it can catch, and then try it.
Yep.
That means it's an instinct. It is ingrained in the mind for them to do those things. If you take a lion, for example, it's a very interesting thing. When we read the National Geographic or see it in your National Geographic, a lion goes and brings food home. He has got his lioness and the baby lions, and it leaves the food there, and the lioness will not let any one of the smaller lions to go and attack the food and eat, because it restricts them from going and eating that. And once the male lion, which has got, the male lion finishes his food, he goes away and he sits a place. Then the mother comes there and says, "Come on, you guys, we got the food, let's go and eat it." It is a kind of a regulation which they have got in that one. And so, like that, even elephants have rules and regulations, they follow them. Who taught them? They didn't go to elementary school, middle school, high school. It's the instinct which has come with them. For human beings, that instinct is not there, but it has given the greatest power of the brain. And the greatest power of the brain, he has to use it. And once he uses it, and he uses it right, he's going to come out of even the toughest kind of a situations. So he says, when you take in the animal world, if you take another janma, which is the janma which we have taken, he says in the Jiva Koti, Koti means crores, in all these crores, taking a human birth itself is a very difficult thing. And once you have taken that birth, then he says, even when you take that birth, you being a man is also very difficult. So how many people, there are some people who want only a boy, they don't want girls. And they keep on trying, they'll get all the girls, 4 girls, 5 girls, and they'll never be able to conceive a boy. And then, so that is also very difficult. And that says, in that, being a vipraha, vipraha is a meaning which they give to a Brahmin. A Brahmin is that person who has a jijnasa. Jijnasa means a yearning for the God, the Brahma. And when they have a yearning for Brahma, all of you are rabbits here, because you got the yearning to learn about the Brahma. And that is also a he says it is a luck to be a vipraha, adrushta. Adrushta is a luck. And then, in them, someone who becomes a vidvans. Vidvans is someone who has learnt all the scriptures, who has learnt the Vedas, who has learnt all the scriptures associated with it. He becomes a very important paramottama. He is a he gets a very higher level. And then he says that kind of a vidvans is at that higher level because he is always thinking about Atma, Anatma, Vicharana. So now we are coming to the question which you asked a little bit. Okay. Atma, Anatma, Vicharana. Now we are saying there is an Atma, there is an Anatma. We are saying there is an Atma and there is an Anatma, this Atma, Anatma, oh, I got to figure this one out. And then we turn around and say, oh, we got to go, let's go to Bhagavad Gita and see what it says. They have 4 Purusharthas. And the 4 Purusharthas are Dharma, Artha,
Kama and moksha. Kama and moksha.
Moksha is something how the people don't even want to think about. So predominantly human beings only think about the other 3. And so when they think about only the other three, the debate of moksha never comes into their mind. And the debate of moksha doesn't come into the mind, then dharma doesn't come at all. And dharma is also used conveniently. So it is a convenient, and there is a gruha dharma, there is a grama dharma, there is a rashtra dharma, there is a desha dharma, there is a bhu dharma. Because if you go in India, we have got 27 grama dharmas. It depends on which state the gram is, the village is. And so there are so many dharmas which come in. And so it's difficult to even try to establish a dharma which is common to the totality. Even if you take a mohalla in India, we'll get one house is a Hindu, one house is a Christian, one house is a Muslim, one house is someone else. And so even there, you can't say that dharma is equanimous or it's the same. Artha, I need not say about that. Trump is always talking about Artha. The inequality, I'm going to take the inequality of everyone out and give more money to the people who make more money and leave the poor people poor. And then when you start talking about them, they say, he's poor, that's how he's supposed to be. What are you talking about? And so that's how Artha goes. Kama? Oh my God, you don't even have to talk about Kama. Because Kama is a very tough subject to even put some boundaries to it. Because there are 2 or 3 different kinds of things. You don't need to have a Kama. For example, I try to restrict or do my regular talk or conversations and everything with the mindset of trying to not a Kama to interfere into it. And इसलिए हम सब लोगों को बोलते हैं माता जी अब कैसे हैं तल्ली. If Telugu people come, I say talli. And talli along now. So the minute I say talli, it becomes a very, very interesting thing. I'll tell you a very simple thing. Even that we circumvent everything. There was a big desert. Telling stories is good.
Talli means what?
Amma.
I know.
Like Amma,
Tamil.
Talli means what? Mother.
Tali means mother.
mother, Amma, right?
Amma. Mataji.
In Telugu.
In Telugu, Amma.
What is this?
Talli, what is the language?
Tali is also Telugu.
Telugu.
Yeah. Amma is also Telugu. In Tamil also Amma is Telugu. So, in the desert, there were two guys coming way far from one side and they were slowly walking down. They saw two girls coming from the other side, coming down. And the two girls saw each other and they said, "Oh my God, we are stuck. These two guys are coming. This is a desert. And I don't know how long they have seen any girls at all, any female at all. And they are coming from there, what am I going to do? So we better come up with a very good idea." So these people said, "Let us go and call them brothers. I'll call Bhai one fellow and you call Bhai one fellow, then they have no other choice but to take care of us." You know, because this Rakhi Bandhan है वो सब है ना, वो राखी बंधन। जब हम कॉलेज में थे हम बोलते थे वो लड़की जो है ना वहाँ पर वो मेरी है, इसीलिए तुम सब लोग जाके उसके राखी बंधन ले लो, मैं नहीं जाऊंगा उस तरफ, अगर मैं गए तो वो राखी बांध दिए तो खतरनाक हो गया पूरा। I'm sorry, I'm speaking in Hindi. You know what I'm saying is because of Rakhi, when we were in college, we used to say, "Leave that girl alone because she is mine." So we never used to talk to them. All these love affairs were all only airways. Airways and mind-waves and all kinds of crap. In those days, if we went and talked to a lady, my father would come with a big stick. So there's no way, we could never do that. But that's what happened. In that Sahara desert, what happened was, these two girls went and they decided that's what they're going to do. Those two guys were coming, they said, "Hey, we have not seen a woman for so long in this desert, so we are going to marry one of these girls. So let's go and just go and marry them. And I am going to marry the right side girl and you go marry the left side girl." And those people also thought the same way and said, "I will go call that fellow the brother and you will go and call that fellow the brother." So they can't get married sisters, right? So it will be very nice. They came and they said, "Brother, hi brother, hi brother." And the two guys saw each other and said, "Satyanas, what am I going to do?" And one fellow said, "I got an idea." He said, "I will marry your sister, you marry my sister."
Oh.
Okay? What I'm trying to get here is, even as a human being, we manipulate all these things in so much, so it becomes very difficult. So he says, these are all the things, and the only people who have the tarka vitarkana, means who have a sense of discriminative knowledge, are the people who are going to be able to find out Atma, Anatma, Viveka. And that becomes very important. And the second one, what Shankaracharya said was, Manushyatvam, Mumukshatvam, Mahapurusha Samsaya. He says, Manushyatvam is someone who lives their life in a humanity basis. And anyone who lives the life like a humanity basis, like Mahatma Gandhi, he got killed. The only one whom I see with that kind of a thought process still living and going strong is President Carter. He builds homes for people, he does everything. And when he became president, we were here, so we saw him. And he is a very straightforward, good human person. And that kind of a thing. And mumukshatva, this Atma Anatma Viveka, people having that, is also very difficult. And he says, Mahapurusha Samsaya, getting to get a guru who is willing to come and tell the Viveka Chudamani is difficult. And I will tell you, it's very difficult. Because I started off when I was very young, and for a very long time I didn't get a guru. I got him when I was 58, 56, 57. And so those are the things which become very, very important for us to understand. And so when we say that dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, and we say it is in a crore people, Shankaracharya says there's only one person who wants mumukshatva, who is looking for moksha, who has an intense desire for moksha. And later on, Shankaracharya said when he was explaining us the students who come to the courses to learn this, and he says that particular intense desire, not for artha, not for kama, not for dharma, artha and kama, but for moksha. That has to be there. If that is not there, then it does not go right. And dharma, artha, kama are called prayers. Prayers is a Sanskrit word, it's like Shreyas. Prayers. Prayers is a thing which you are looking for getting, let me kind of pun a word for it, like praise. Praise standing for praise. So we all want praise from people. We want someone, our neighbor, to say, he's a very good man, he's a very good man, he's a great man, or he's a learned man, he has done this, he has done that. And all those things, that praise, that means there is already a selfishness which is coming in you with the praise. And so in Shankaracharya always says that praise is the first three. And the Shreyas side of it, Shreyas side of it is moksha. The wantingness for moksha. You said you are looking for that thing after what happens. And so when
I
you,
have a quick question.
yes,
Look, can you live a like everyday life and then still desire for moksha?
yes,
Yes.
then I'm coming for that next. In the Pravriti Marga is the Marga which is the three Purusharthas. Okay. In the Pravriti Marga, you can do karmas, you can do yagas and other things, you can do upasanas, you can do fast, then you can do temples, going and doing puja there, doing the Lalita Sahasranamam, Vishnu Sahasranamam, all the Sahasranamams which are there, and you can do a lot of intense puja after puja after puja after puja after puja, and you can do all those things. And what does that do? That gives you ekagrata. Ekagrata is trying to put your mind focused on to a thing which you are calling God. Okay? And we are not talking, now I am not talking Atma Anatma, because we are talking God. When you are talking God, it is very difficult for someone who sees God there to understand that my Atma is also that God. Because you have come to a situation where you are trying to put a Dvaita philosophy. God is there, I am here. So I am coming to my deathbed with the understanding that something is going to happen to me now. I am going to die. After I die, what is going to happen? So, if you suddenly, what is Vijnana? What is Viveka? Viveka is, Newton said, my energy is still going to be there. It's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to poof. It's not going to disappear. It's not going to go into a vacuum. That energy is still there. That energy is called Atma. And that Atma, Anatma, Viveka has to come. And that Atma, Anatma, Viveka will only come when you completely understand that the three dharmartha kama is not worth it. That ekagrata has to come. The ekagrata will come. There is what is, I forget the name right now. There is a two kind of a kriyas are there. One is the turtle, where a turtle kriya is a slow kriya. It just keeps going slowly. And the other one is like a rabbit, goes very fast. Okay. Both of them also only take you to those three areas, but they suddenly doesn't come into the Atma, Anatma, Viveka. And the reason why we do all these things, and the Pravritti Marga is very good, and it gets you to have ekagrata for jnana. Yes. When you get that bijam of trying to understand jnana, then you have already stepped one step towards Kailasha or Vaikuntha. Immediately you are one step ahead. Because you have already got that seed which says, I am going to understand what my Atma is.
Yeah, but getting that concentration itself is a challenge.
Well, it's coming. It's coming. I'm getting there. I'm not following the book. I'm not following it because I'm not following this actually. There is, so for this, what happens is you need to have a Sharira Shodhana. Shodhana means a understanding of what Sharira. And when you try to understand Sharira, Shankaracharya has written quite a good number of books. And one of the, and he written such beautiful songs. And one of them is Mano Chitta Hankara Ishtaninadam Vachaiva Stotre. You know that?
Yeah, I've heard that, yes.
You've heard that. And that's one. And then the other one is Bhaja Govindam, Govindam, Bhaja Moolamati. And Govindam means forget about all the other things. Understand what the real knowledge is. So now when we try to understand Sarira Shodhana, what it brings us to is a Sthula Sarira, and then it also gets to a Sukshma Sarira, and it gets the Karana Sarira. There are three. I'm getting to your answer here. I'm not giving you the answer. Shankaracharya has given it. Okay, I got to do that. Once in a while I got to tell that to people. I am not doing this. It is Shankaracharya who has written these things. Sthula Sarira Sukshma Sarira and the Karana Sarira, these are three Sariras which we got, and all of the three interact with each other, and unless someone climbs beyond these three, he is not going to get the perception of the Atma. So now if we want to start understanding how that is, because all these things what I'm telling you are there in the 400 things which are there, but I'm bringing that here to get you to see this one, okay? And the Atma Darsana will not happen if you don't understand the difference between the three Sariras. And the three Sariras are, you got to understand another thing. There are a lot of people who say your body is a Devalaya. They say your body is a temple and you got to treat your body as a temple. Treat your body as a temple. Nice, good, heavy lolak here, another heavy lolak here, another big har here, and a mukuta. That's not what they mean. They mean you got to treat it as a temple because you got to treat it as an abode for an idol, or a god, or lord. That's why it is called a temple. And so when we take it as a thing, then you start realizing that maybe God is in me. That is the first step. There was a Brahma actually told this to Asvalaya, who was one of the guys, and he said, "Na karmana, na prajaya, dhanena, tyagaineke, amrutatva mansu." Where he says, by karma yoga or with dhana, with lots of wealth, or tyaga, a lot of charity and all those kind of things, you can do all those things, but till such time you don't understand Vairagya, which is the Vedanta Sara, you are not going to get the Atma Jnana. The Atma Jnana has to come only that way. And so this particular line which I said is from Kaivalya Upanishad. In Kaivalya Upanishad that line is there. So every time we read Upanishads and we read all the things, they all come there. And it says, for 100 people there will be one person who will catch it. Okay? Now just to go back and then get back to our class routine. Here I put this Om chart where I said that there are different things. Real is above that line over there, and that is called a para in Sanskrit. That which is not para is apara. Anytime you put I in front of a word, then it's not. And apara is this. In apara, what is there? If we see what is that unreality, because I am talking this is unreal, that is real. What is unreality? Intellect. We think our intellect is fantastic. And we don't know how, we don't have the same intellect as a monkey when it comes to jumping from tree to tree. We don't have the same intellect as a fish to be underwater for a long time. And so intellect is varied, it is in all different forms, and we cannot call intellect as an entity which I can put my 100 cents on and say that it is real. Rama Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Vivekananda, and all the other Maharishis, they all said only one thing. Aham Brahmosmi. And in the south, we had a rishi who said, find out who am I? Who am I? Now, I'm saying, I am not the intellect because that is different. That's not real. And why am I saying it's not real? Because you just said that this thing is gone.
Yeah.
So, intellect is gone. Inherent and acquired. We got an inherent intellect which you get, and there's an acquired intellect which comes. Okay, if we are in Rajasthan, the acquired intellect is completely different from if we are in Bengal, the acquired intellect is completely different. In Bengal, most probably they only say Kali Mata is the god. In the south, I think when you go to Tamil, only Chidambaram Shivan, that's it, he is God, no one else. Illaya. And so that is acquired intellect, inherent. Inherent is a little bit difficult because somewhere along the line we do not know what are coming. Now the doctors are all trying to get our genetic code on and then take the genetic code and then see, and they say, hey, before I treat you or before I give you this medicine, tell me what happened to your mom or what happened to your granddad. Well, how did they die and what happened? What all those things? What is that? What has me got to do with my granddad?
Genes.
Gene-
Genetics.
Where did it come from?
No, I mean, it's ancestors.
Ancestors. எப்படி வந்தது?
யாரோ ஆதி.
நீங்க கேட்டீங்க இல்லையா? Death is a definite full stop.
Correct.
Death is not a full stop. Death is just a comma. It just goes to the next step. And once you get that, that is the Viveka which we are talking about. If that Viveka comes, then you're not going to say, this acquired is what I learned after I was born, but this inherent is something which came from somewhere which I don't even know. Many a time you have got what is called a deja vu. Sometimes you go someplace and you see that thing and you say, oh my God, I did come to this place sometimes. Abto Hasre, tell me.
No, deja vu is very popular.
And so what happens is that's what it is. And then we superimpose on it something called mind. Okay, mind. As soon as a kid is 5 years old, we have to illuminate your mind. In order to illuminate your mind, we are going to find the right school.
Starts different.
Okay? The minute you say, oh, I'm going to put you in a special school. I was put in Madras Christian College High School. That's supposed to be a very popular, very strict school and all kinds of things. And so my mind got illuminated there. And my father forgot that that was all Christian. At my home, they were all teaching me all the Indian stuff. They're saying Rama is God. And I go to my school, Jesus is God. I say, what's going on? Jesus and Rama. And so my mind got illuminated with 2 candles. One candle Jesus candle, one is Rama candle. So now mind is not also yours. Mind is also something which is being massaged by other people to change. And then you come down to body. And the minute we say body, oh, my 5 senses. So what are you talking about 5 senses? He says, I got a beautiful mouth, don't you know? I can sing beautiful songs. And I can sing everything. And as a matter of fact, I got to tell you guys this thing. This is a very interesting thing. Okay? And I don't know, I might try to give you a address next class I come, the YouTube address for it. There is a Canadian kid who in the span of 17 minutes, உங்களுக்கு ரொம்ப பிடிக்கும் இது 17 minutesல in 17 minutes there are 73 ragas in Carnatic, Hindustani all put together. You can go and say this is Pahadi and those people say it's Bhupala, all kinds of things. But there are 73 ragas. This guy, today I saw his video where a guy came with a camera to his door, tapped the door, you open the door, and he says, can you sing the 73 ragas for me? And in 17 minutes he sang all the 73 ragas. One snippet here. Then Devalo says Bhupala, then he sang Bhupala. Sri Raga, done. Kalyani, bum. Bhairavi, you want south or north? And he sang all of them. I saw that, I shared it on my Facebook. And I said, I was amazed. So that's mind. So this mind is something which comes with that kind of it. And the body, when we take the body, just now I gave you the tongue and the mouth, it has a voice, it gives the voice out, and it tastes, and all these things. So there's eyes, ears, tongue, limbs, and touch, they are the 5 senses. Ears see, eyes see, ears hear, tongue tastes, limbs move, touch feels. So we have come to that. Even there we are saying that they are not ours. They are someone else's. Okay, I can't be a Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli is Virat Kohli. I can't go and suddenly become Virat Kohli. I got to exercise that body, do all those things. But again, it disappears, just like Tendulkar. Tendulkar is gone. No, his history. No one wants to even talk about him. They only talk about Kohli. Dhoni was, he has a movie on it, that was gone too. And now KL Rahul is the one who is doing the wicket keeping for India. And so these things all, the whole body, those things just go away. But what does these senses do? They give you the perceptions. You perceive, you feel, and you think. You think with the mind, you feel with your hands and everything, and you perceive. Suddenly you perceive. Those people are saying Jesus is the light, and my house people are saying Venkateshwara is the light. Which is the real light? Oh, the light is a light. The rest of it is candle. It doesn't matter where it is, it's still the light. That enlightenment is what is called Viveka. That enlightenment is the Viveka Jnana. That Viveka Jnana will not come unless those 2 candles become one light. Then, on the top of it, we come to this other nonsense, unreality, emotions. We got so many emotions, you don't even know, you can't even fathom the emotions which we have got. And what are all these emotions are based on? Can anyone tell me what is the emotion based on?
What you feel.
Emotions are based on your Prakriti.
Your Prakriti and your Dharma. Because my Dharma is, I don't eat meat, so my Dharma goes in that particular way, but the next guy, my neighbor, he doesn't care about it, he eats meat. So his Dharma is a meat Dharma. So basically all these emotions and thoughts and the way we behave, and I'm from Madras, so I'm going to behave like this. And then Delhi will come and say, Ayya, kya karta hai ji? And immediately they make fun of Madras. Oh, yeah, what the hell are you talking about? When we are here, And those people came and said, "Ayyo, kya karta hai ji?" Arey, puttal. You know that means I'm telling him he's an idiot. Because he doesn't understand the Tamil and other things. And so we have this kind of a thoughts, emotions, all these things that all are real. And we think they are all real. We think they are real.
I have a question though. How is body unreal? Body is real, right? How is body
It's
unreal?
unreal
I know
because
it's Nashwarya, it dies, but still, while it is
It's
there, it
not.
is real.
But it's
What?
not permanent, no?
It's not permanent, but still it's real though.
Ah,
Well,
that's
just
why
that's
we
what
are
it
coming
is,
there. We are.
Carry your soul. It's a vehicle to carry your soul.
Correct, but still it's a vehicle, still it's a real.
It's like a car. It's real at a time, but
Illusion.
it's not real after 5 years.
Correct.
That time.
But
That time.
It's illusions.
That's good. That's a nice question. We're going to go to that question next. Because we get to understand, now we get to go, now we're done with that one. Okay? We understand what this one is all about. And here we have got above, I said vasanas. And vasanas in this thing is called your genetic code, I suppose. And those vasanas past, means in the previous, I don't know whether it's a life which we lived or what we lived, I don't know. But nowadays everyone is coming and asking me, what did your great grandfather do? And most probably,
It's the same as sanskaras.
It's the
Sanskaras.
past.
no, this is, vasanas are just remembrances of the past and remembrances of what is happening there. In some of the movies, they show that the guy comes up and he says, I remember something which happened in the previous birth.
that's what deja vu
Yes.
is, right?
That is the previous birth, and what we bring from that is real. In this, that it has traveled through one body to another body to another body.
Wow.
Correct.
Right? You are asking what happens to the body. Body, that's why body is unreal.
Because the
Because whatever is associated with your body, all will go into the fire and you are gone.
your prarabdha
It's
will
gonna
stay
be
with you.
different.
So it's your prarabdha, right?
Prarabdha pal.
Right.
That is the prarabdha pal.
Past.
I'm not using big words here,
Yes.
which are there in that one, because we're trying to consolidate and bring everything together.
That's what I'm doing.
Correct.
So when we go into the next steps, it won't be difficult.
You're right.
And
Because-
so,
Because in your real and unreal, you have mind in both the places. Right? In your vasanas,
there
you
is
have
mind.
past mind.
That mind, the reason why I'm saying is when you are born, the mind is formed in your body.
Correct.
When you go into the later verses of Shankaracharya, he will tell about those things. And where the mind develops early and it has within it Niguda Gupta.
Correct.
The Niguda Gupta is the things which you are not able to retrieve. It is like a big hard drive where you put something there, you know it is there, you can't find it. Because you don't have the necessary codes,
Correct.
or you do not know the necessary things which to search for, and so you are there. But what happens is, as you are living your life, at one particular time you say, oh my God, and then you won't know from where you got the thought, but it is there and it has come to you. That's why that mind brings along with it, that gene or whatever it is, it brings along with it only two things. One, the past. Past, it's not going to bring the vivid past for anyone. It will only bring in some information from the past. That's why the doctors want to know what's happening to our great-grandfather. And hierarchy. And the inclinations are one thing which will come. Tell me, I am a male, I'm walking, I'm doing everything, and I'm very happy. And I'm attracted to a opposite sex, and everything is going. And there is a friend of mine, he's not attracted to opposite sex at all. He's only attracted to another human male. Where did that come from? Did someone inject an injection so that the fellow's mind suddenly turned and decided that he's going to become a gay? That thing is what I call, comes from there, that vasana, which we can't say. Okay, it is not like Mahabharata, where Arjuna decided for 1 year he's going to be Brahmanala, and he was teaching Uttara dancing.
Yeah, he was sharp, you know. It was sharpical, that's why he had to live that life.
Sharp, that's what I'm saying.
Correct.
But that sharp could have been something else too, I don't know. And when some people give a sharp in one particular birth, and the sharp is retributed in the other birth.
Correct. Correct.
So those are all vasanas. Okay? Good. Let's go. Let's talk about this. Stula Sarira and we.
நம்ம தமிழ்ல பூர்வ ஜென்மத்து வாசனைன்னு போனோம்.
Vasana annuvaanga. Ama Purva Janma Vasana.
Vasana, yeah.
That's what vasanas are.
Prarabdha. That's why I said prarabdha.
So, I'm really getting the people who have missed the classes. I'm trying to get all of you to the same place where we are now. Okay, Stula Sarira. Stula Sarira is consisting of these things, the 5 senses and other things. So when you take Stula Sarira and Sushma Sarira and other things, Stula Sarira is the one which dies.
Physical body.
All these things what I have told you are all gone. But there are some of them are stored in this thing called intellect and the mind, which might go
As vasanas.
along with into the top and then come back again some other place. But we do not know whether they go up there and come back or anything. Now, what are we calling mumukshatva?
What are we calling it?
Mumukshatva. Moksha. What are we talking moksha?
This is
Moksha is, once I go there, then I have got a choice coming right across here. It's saying, I'm going to be born here. And I'm going to be born here. And then I want to say, I don't want to be born here. I want to go to Kailash. Or I want to go to Vaikuntha. That means in between, I have to take a detour. Go that way or this way, whichever way. I don't know which is really true there at the top. Okay, that's why I put a Om there. A Om is an energy. So we don't want to come back here, we want to go merge with that energy. That is moksha. In order to get that moksha, we have to understand this is unreal, and this thing, this Om is real, and it is in you. And I want to get to that Om. That is Viveka Chudamani.
The way I was reading your Om over here was like Shankaracharya has said that in our body we have 7 chakras, right? The 7 chakras, they go from bottom to top, and your top one is the Om. And that's what
is
that
this is the Sahasra Chakra, but you are not reached Om yet.
No, we
Yeah,
have.
no, yeah.
No.
Yeah, the Om is, because it is part of it. Yeah, but not this Om. I mean, specifically what he
No,
is
that's what I was
describing. Yeah,
actually.
not the Paramatma.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
See, here Shankaracharya later on says that the Stula Sarira is the one which dies, but this is the Sarira which might go enter into another body. It need not be the same body which you have now, another body in a different style. And when it goes and gets into that body, your punya and papa which you have accumulated here is going to go along with you. And so what it does is there are what is called a mudra, like a chap marte, na? Like a
Stamp.
stamping. There the stampings are there which go out there. And this Stula Sarira is also called Tejomaya Sarira, and it is Linga Sarira also they call it. And this Stula Sarira works in Jagrat Avastha. Jagrat Avastha is fully awakened. Right now we are in that Jagrat Avastha. We are doing all this, we are trying to understand everything. Okay? And this thing which we are trying to understand in this Jagrat Avastha is done by the Stula Sarira, which is the combination of all these things. And the Stula Sarira is the one which is going to die and go away someplace. So there are four stages in one's life. One is Jagrat Avastha, which is the Jagrat. There we are. And then we have got a Sukshma Sarira. In the Sukshma Sarira, you're going to be in the dream state. So you go to bed, you get to a dream state. In the dream state, you see yourself, don't you? Have anyone seen dreams where you come and you're doing something and you're seeing you doing things? Okay. That dream state, that you doing things in the dream state, is it done by Stula Sarira? No. It's not done by Stula Sarira. It is done by the Sukshma Sarira. Sukshma Sarira is one which takes something from here and then puts it into the mind, and then this mind tries to play games with it. And then he says, when we are sleeping, it says, oh my God, that girl, when I was getting into that bus, she was so beautiful, oh my God. You know, all that thing will come up and you are standing there. And you have got these double-decker buses, you know, and I used to do this thing also when I was in engineering college. Double-decker buses have a big rod there.
Yeah.
And you get up and then the steps going up, and this side you go inside. And I used to tell them, "Arey, itna acha ladki ki aayi thi, itna khoobsurat thi. The girl who came there, she was so beautiful." And I was trying to get onto the double decker, and it was moving. Normally buses move and people run after it. So I was going, and you never get hold of the rod. You know, so what is that called? Those things all come back into your Sukshma Sarira. They are in your mind. They are the clutter of the mind. So mind is a garbage collector of a human being. It collects all the garbage, puts it there, and it is there. Sometimes we become susceptible to retrieving that garbage, and that comes in a dream state. And when it comes to the dream state, it becomes a reality, but at the same time it's not a reality. Anything which is happening in that state is not your Stula Sarira at all. If to feel something, you got to have a Stula Sarira. You don't have to feel that. That is Sukshma Sarira. That is there. Then you have got, so in Jagrata Avastha, you got Stula Sarira. In Swapna Avastha, you got Stula Sarira, but not the same Stula Sarira. It is not this thing. Then Sukshma Sarira has 17 tattvas associated with it. I put most of them here, but the Viveka Chudamani, we're going to be reading all the 17 tattvas, one after the other, exactly what that tells us. Okay, and then we got the next avastha which we get to, and this particular avastha is Sushupti. Sushupti is deep sleep. When you get to that deep sleep, finding everything stops in your body. It doesn't stop.
Your mind is blank. It's in deep sleep.
But your blood is going around, your heart is beating, your body cells are recreating themselves, and you are still here, you are not dead. This is a dead and not dead kind of a argument here. And in that particular state, what happens is, you call that, there are so many koshas, pancha koshas are there, all kinds of koshas. But that deep sleep state is called Anandamaya kosha. You are in full ananda.
How can you achieve that every day?
Deep sleep?
I have a major problem with dreams.
Remove clutter from your brain.
Oh, it's
Because dreams,
awful.
no, because dreams let you drain out all your thoughts. So by the time you wake up in the morning, you're fresh. That's how you get to that deep sleep.
Deep sleep only comes to two ways. One way is,
Meditation.
no, I don't recommend medication to anyone.
No, meditation.
Meditation, yeah, meditation, if you are meditating, you are not letting your mind go to sleep. Because you're sitting there and saying, oh, Ram, oh, Ram,
During
oh,
the
Ram,
day
oh,
when
Ram.
you are meditating, to calm your mind,
When you
and
calm
you
your
to take
nerves.
out your clutter, calm your mind, and
Yeah.
then eventually you will start getting deep sleep.
Maybe. You know, I get the deep sleep anytime. I'm driving, I'm getting deep sleep.
That's not good.
First thing, if I want to get good deep sleep, you know, my granddaughter used to be there, and the only way we could get her to sleep was put her in the car, take her around the block. Every day in the
That's what we are
evening,
doing.
we'll take her around the block
That's what we are
and she will
doing.
sleep, and then we'll come and take her in and put it in. After a while, she found out. I said, Tata, I'm not coming in the car. So that is what it is. Sushupti is the one which gives you that particular aspect there of deep sleep state. At that time, it is this unknown Om which is inside us. That energy Om keeps the body going. That is where that one is. And now we come to the next one. So we'll just very quickly go through the next one, and then we're done. Okay. Earlier I said that one of the best things which Shankaracharya said is you have to learn all the various Mahakavyas. And that the jnana has to be there from Mahakavyas. And so there's some Atreya Upanishad in Rigveda says Prajnanam Brahma. That's a Mahavakya. And in Atharva Veda, Manduka Upanishad, if you see, I am Atma Brahma, means I am, my Atma is Brahma. Okay, even here it is still not that clear. Then if you come down to Samaveda, Chandogya Upanishad, it says Tat Tvamasi, you are it. Okay, and then when you come to Brihadaranyaka Upanishad in Yajurveda, Aham Brahmasmi, I am myself Brahman. That I am myself Brahman is what Viveka is. And this book, Viveka Chudamani, is what is going to tell us what that Viveka is and how to get to that Viveka. And he explains all these things. Every time we go to the temple, they do puja, and Pujari says, go bring all those food which you have done. And all the food you bring it and put it there. We say, oh, Mudaya Swaha, Namaya Swaha, this Swaha, that Swaha, all kinds of Swaha. So all those things. And all the Swaha which he is saying is all these different koshas which you have done. And so we're going to learn about those koshas. And then Shankaracharya says in one particular thing that there are 4 qualifications required for anyone who wants to really understand the Viveka. And the 4 qualifications is, first, he has to have Viveka itself. And Viveka itself is capacity to know the real discriminative thought process or insight. That discriminative thought process has to be there. How can we get to that discriminative thought process? For me, I'm a dummy. That's why I got to make that Om and put all those things, I put a line and say, that's real, this is unreal and other
But it
things.
made it easy for us.
Otherwise it becomes difficult. And so that's what happens with Viveka. Then the second one he talks about is Vairagya. That is dispassion and detachment. This is the toughest thing in life. For me, that is a real tough thing. Because a human being's life is not one person. Because it is multiple persons. And when we see these multiple persons, there is persons like your wife or husband, and you get a son or a daughter, then you get a neighbor, and you get another neighbor on the other side, then the north one, then the south one. Between the south one and your house, maybe there's a road. Then we got all these cars going on. All this is the environment which you are in. And so you've got all this. How can you get detached with all those things? So, the only way you can get detached is with dispassion. What is dispassion?
Don't go after.
I just come here at 7:30 and I give this lecture and I leave this place.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I don't think about anything. I don't think about anything. After I finish my lecture and I'm going, the only thing I would request all the people is don't throw your shoes at me. Because otherwise I open a bata shop there. Other than that, I don't want anything. No vancha, no requirement, no selfishness, no entitlement. Nothing. The minute you control your mind to accept complete non-entitled life, then you got dispassion there. And in order to get to that particular dispassion, vairagya, you have to have sama and associated characteristics. There are 6 characteristics there. So in effect, the 4 qualifications become 9. 9 plus 3. And so now we'll just very quickly go through the one. The first one is sama, which is peaceful state of mind. And if anyone tells me they can't have a peaceful state of mind, I tell them it's garbage. The reason I say it is garbage is you are not exercising the thought process the way you will get peace. That means peaceful way of mind is, as soon as I walk out, someone gets angry with me and they throw something on me or something like that. And if I don't get angry about that guy, and I say, peace. The minute I get angry, no peace. I'm driving my car, some fellow comes and zoom, which comes and cuts me off. And immediately I get angry and they say, oh, no peace. Suppose they say, so be it. Peace. Mind control.
Not easily said.
It is easy.
It is easy.
It is easy.
It is easy.
Only
Once
thing
you
Forgive
is,
him.
you have to convince yourself, I am going to be that way. I have been, for a very long time, I have been that way. And people tell me even now, you're a fellow, you don't have a voice. Can't you go and tell them? Can't you tell your sister to shut up? Can't you take care of your own family? You're darpook. That's another word they use. And how do you get all these things? How do you get out of that? You have to accept it. And the minute you accept, I'm darpook. Oh, I'm scared, so I won't say anything. I'll keep quiet. Oh, yes, you're right. I'm stupid. Yes.
But this is where my problem is.
Why, what's
See,
your
our
problem?
culture tells us to have the viveka. Our culture tells us to do the karma and not think about the fruits, right? You just keep on doing what you think is the best, right? But if you keep on doing those things, other people keep on jumping and then think you are foolish and they start taking advantage of you. And at the same time, when you read Mahabharata, Krishna says you have to do your karma, you have to stand for yourself, right? So, where do we go?
Well, what did Krishna say? Krishna didn't say do your karma.
No.
Who said?
He said
Nishkama karma.
Nishkam karma.
Nishkama karma.
Correct. No,
So-
he did say Nishkam karma. But when he said about the Arjuna,
But
he
we
said
only
you have
think
to
about
do.
karma.
You have
Correct.
to do dharma.
No, that's where the problem is.
Dharma, you need to think about the dharma. If somebody, coming, irritating you, you can do, regarding
Nishkama
dharma.
karma is what is the most important. That means dispassionate.
Correct, correct.
If you have that dispassion, then you are going to get that thing. So the sama, let's go through the states of it. State of mind, peaceful state of mind, only comes with the dispassion.
Dispassion.
Number one. Second one is dhamma, sense of self-control.
Control.
You gotta have your own control. That means, Gandhi ji said, you वो आके थप्पड़ मारे तुम,
दूसरे अगर भी आगे करते
ये भी दिखाओ, वो भी दिखाओ, दोनों. And that is self-control.
Yeah.
That is a control. Then we have got uparama uparati. Silence.
Inner silence.
I follow that very much. Because I always keep quiet. I go to the temple, I sit in one corner, I keep my mouth shut and ears open.
So if your husband is like that, you're not supposed to get mad at him.
He has reached a philosophical height better than yours.
I always give him credit. No, I give him credit for that. He's better than me. Yeah. I don't know how he can be so silent. I'll go nuts.
You
But
see,
that's your prakriti.
what I'm doing.
No, I credit him with all.
She wants to change it.
Okay. Next one is
in
titikshta.
It's a
Titikshta.
vasanas.
See, when I told all those other points, titikshta is endurance. Endurance is difficult. You can't endure it for long. And as you get old, you will find it much more difficult to endure stuff.
Really? I thought as you get old, endurance increases actually.
No. You will be so. My grandfather used to be so mad. He used to take a stick and hit people, and he used to say, "You crazy idiot, this, that, and another thing." And I said, "Oh my God." And he used to tell everyone, why doesn't he have endurance? They get very quickly angry, they get anger and all those things. So that endurance is another one.
Personalities.
The next one is Shraddha. Means you have to have a belief in yourself. And you have to have a fortitude to be able to do all the things I'm saying. And if you have the fortitude, you'll be able to control your mind peacefully and put a peaceful state of mind. Then samadhanam. Samadhanam is tranquility. And basically samadhanam also says hybrid consciousness. The hybrid consciousness is the understanding of Om. That Om is the only one which is transmigratory. The rest is non-transmigratory. And so the non-transmigratory is unreal,
And not to
and
worry
the
about it.
migratory is the one which you got to worry about it. And when you say that I'm going to worry about that migratory thing and I want it to be pure and nice and good, when it goes to the next level, then you will get that. But if you understand all that thing, and if you follow them, and you say, this is what I'm going to do, then you will get mumukshatvam, which is freedom. Freedom from what? This particular death which happened, the unreal went up to reality, and it started moving. And coming out onto this and to come and drop down, and when it is in that particular state, it doesn't want to drop down again and get into this thing, this garbage. You want to get back into this garbage? You don't want to get back into this garbage. So that's what is freedom, that is what is mumukshatvam. And then we get moksha sadhanas, and they are bhakti, jnana, vairagya, and yoga. They are the four moksha sadhanas. You can either become yogic, like you said, I'm going to sit and sleep. No, that's good. I can sit, concentrate, just to repeat Shiva, 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 Shiva 20 times. And when the 30th time I'm supposed to say Shiva, I'm sleeping and I'm not saying it. That is deep sleep state when you are awake. That is where the problem comes. It is a deep sleep state and you don't want to be awakened, but there is someone in the house who will say, awake! Time over here! School! Bus! And the minute that comes in, then you're not going to be in that mode. So it becomes difficult for people. So that's that one. And bhakti, when we say bhakti, bhakti is real reverence to Om, reverence to God. It's not beggary, it's not intellectual slavery. And intellectual slavery should not be there, whether it's a husband, wife, son, daughter, whatever. Intellectual slavery is to say someone that, okay, you belong to this kind of a square and you have to be there. It has to be, you belong to this circle. You can be anywhere you want. That should be there. That means you have to get to that state where you are going to be able to say that there is only one God. Whether you call it Allah, Jesus, who, whatever it is. That's why we don't call God at all here in Viveka. We only talk about Omkara, which is an energy. And bhakti requires courage, nor conviction, nor renounce. So if you say that I'm going to renounce everything, that's not bhakti. You got to be in the thing. He said you need to be in the garbage and be able to have the Viveka to understand all this is garbage except for my brain which is up above. And that's where that thing. Love is a reality, perfection of bliss and knowledge. So somewhere along the line you can't say I don't love anyone and I'm going to be rid of everything. No. Love promotes bhakti. So if you see Ramdas, if you see Kabir Das, if you see any one of these people who are bhakti, Mirabai, they have got phenomenal bhakti because they understand the bliss and the knowledge of the mind and all the four qualifications. And for them, if they are not going to get moksha, who is ever going to get moksha?
Yeah, but for them, love was there only for the God, right? Not
Even
the-
here, Kriya without attachment, without entitlement, is love for God. And so, it is that attachment should be there. Because attachment becomes two ways. Number one, a policeman gets attached to his job. So he invades into your thing. And he says, hey, you did not put kandil khan, the lamp for your cycle. And so that kind of an intrusion should not come. You should not go intrude on others. If there are two people and if they just don't intrude on each other, but they live their life, support each other, do whatever they need to do, and not bother about any entitlements.
Even cell phone usage.
Cell phone is a new one. What can I do about it? I can't do anything about it. Why can't you use cell phone?
I mean, 24/7. I mean, I don't use it. Somebody I know uses it. So.
You see, it is not
The
about
phone.
any particular person or any particular person. It is each individual is his own temple. And each individual has to learn these things. Unfortunately, out of 1,000 people, only one will learn that. So here in San Antonio, we got so many people. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 people are listening, 14. 14 people are trying to learn Viveka Niridhyasana. There are so many people who are not really interested in Viveka Niridhyasana, but they are interested in bhakti. And they are sitting there and singing bhajans and doing bhajans. So those are all good. They are all good. They give you prosperity, they give you prayers, they give you everything. And they will give you a lot of good mudras on your stula sharira, which can go in your genetic code. So when you come back there, you say, I know that bhajan.
Expressions.
Expressions, right? You'll come over, you'll say, I know that bhajan. That is Sai Baba bhajan. Oh, let's go home.
Next Jaram Deja vu.
Deja vu. Woo! I know I saw Sai Baba sometimes somewhere, right? So that's where we came, and the last line is most probably a very heavy one. Egocentricity. Egocentricity is I'm always right. That becomes very, very difficult to overcome. You are never always right, because that which you think is right is not necessarily right. So that egocentricity has to disappear. Okay? We'll see. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaśyid dukkha bhavave. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You can say Kale Varshatu Parjanyah Prithvim Sakshashalini Deshoyam Shovarahita Brahmana Santu Nirbhaya. Om Shanti Shanti.